I'm Anne Goad with the Brentwood Historic Commission, and we're here today to interview Mr. Dave Chambers, who's a longtime resident of Brentwood, and he's going to share some of his remembrances about Brentwood like it used to be.
Well, Brentwood, like it used to be, where Maryland Farms is now, it used to be a gravel road, went all the way up to the horse barns up there, and there was a horse farm up there, and Eddie Arnold and Sally Arnold and Elizabeth and I used to walk that little gravel road a lot of times and find these little crinoids and things like that. And Eddie had a philosophy. He said, you know, you ought to buy up all the property you can around here. When I first moved to Brentwood out here.
What year was that?
About 40 years ago. We've been out here about when this was a dairy farm. Wasn't any trees or anything out. It was a Sweeney dairy farm. And then across the street was a guy that ran the Duckhead, made Duckhead clothes downtown. And he ran beef cattle back there, or what is Belle Reeve.
We're right now in River Oaks.
We're in River Oaks right now. And River Oaks was the dairy farm. And we'd meet Sally and Eddie and go up the little gravel road, what is now Maryland Ways to the farm. And then we just got to talking and about topsy-turvy growing. And of course, Eddie wanted everybody to buy property. Well, he bought up most of the property. When I first came out here, on the corner of where Walgreens is now, was Noble's Restaurant. And then next door to it was a little motel.
The Nobles also owned that, didn't they?
No, yeah. And then next to it was Bobby's Hardware Store. Well, Bobby's Hardware Store was owned by Eddie Arnold and a fellow named Bobby. That's all I know. It is now Ace Hardware around there. But there wasn't very much out here at all when we moved out here. Little old narrow road down here, Granny White Pike was just a little old narrow road. And we just kept watching this place grow, and Eddie kept telling everybody to buy property, and didn't anybody have any money except Eddie Hill. And they, as I said, they raised these horses up here where the barn is, where the YMCA is now. And
that was the Ward farm, right?
I think Ward's horse farm. Mm-hmm. It's the YMCA is a big building. They used to be their big barn, and there used to be two or three little old creeks that ran through there, and we used to go down and collect these little things out of little crinoids and put them on there. And I believe that the Shell people had promised to build a Shell station where that current Shell station is on the northwest corner. They then the place just kept growing, and so a bunch of us got together one night and on the floor. They called it the China Hut up here. It's still up there. They still serve some kind of foods there.
It's a taco place now.
Is it a taco place?
Right.
Well, okay, it was called the China Hut. And a fellow named Tom Nelms, who was an attorney, and Penny, his wife, was a flight attendant for American Airlines. And so we all gathered, about 15 of us gathered together up there one night at the China Hut and said we ought to sort of organize this place so that we could control the growth of it. Well, we really couldn't control the growth because at that time, there was where the big old hotel is back down there now. Was a big old, we called it a mansion. And they made a hotel out of it now, and they built all these shops up around it. And the first, I think there was a tailor that tailored clothes in that big old house, and then we heard.
You're talking about Moreland Mansion, right?
Moreland's Mansion, yeah, Moreland Mansion, and then Eddie kept buying up all this property around here, and I think his granddaughter and them still own a lot of the property around downtown there.
Did you own property in Brentwood then?
No, I did not. Mr. Sweeney, who had a dairy farm here, they had a real estate person come in here and lay out the streets, and they laid out the streets, and we bought some of the first lots down here. I bought the lot next door, this lot, and the lot next door. Well, I sold them to friends. Well, they all made money off of them, and I just built a house on mine. So Elizabeth drew up the plans for the house, and then we had an architect draw up the building plans from her sketches that she wanted. And this house is the result of it. But Tom Nelms was really the father of the starting of Brentwood.
I did some checking. In 1960, there were only 1,000 people living in this whole area.
Well, there wasn't very many people out here, and unfortunately, Tom Nelms got killed. After he was the only lawyer there, and I think we ad hoc'd him as the mayor. It really wasn't official or anything about it until they had a voting thing on it.
Right now.
And I don't remember the years.
1969 when the vote happened.
They did.
1969.
They incorporated.
Mm-hmm.
1969. Gosh, that's a long time ago. Penny and Tom lived on a corner right down here. And I think he drew up the first preambles of what we wanted to do with Brentwood. And I don't know whether we ad hoc'd him as the mayor at that time or not. But
the first mayor was Mr. Pewitt.
Pewitt, was he the first mayor?
Emery Pewitt was the first mayor.
That old rascal.
He lived down there on that street, didn't he? Because that's Pewitt Drive now.
Yeah, and then Ray Little got into this thing here a long time ago. I think the Little brothers moved from up at Melrose out to here, and they built this big shell station out here. And then Ray Little went up in. He didn't want to mess with the shell people, so went up and built the what was called Hardscuffle Road.
Mm-hmm. That's now Church Street
Church
East.
Street East. But it was called Hardscuffle Road then, and it really wasn't much over there. I think it was a rock quarry over there, and as I said, there was a tailoring shop in the old mansion down there. Then Kroger we got all excited when Kroger said that they were buying some property out here. That's when H.C. Hill bought some property. And then Kroger's brought a Kroger store out here. And Dolly Parton lived out here off of Concord Road.
Yeah, on Crockett Road.
Crockett Road. Mm-hmm. Well, she lived out there, And when we put the driveway in here, she wasn't famous then. She just a little old dowdy-haired gal that came down to this Kroger store when they built it. And she said her husband laid my driveway out there all the way around. I can't think of his name now. But anyway, it was quite an exciting life watching the things grow up around here. And we were one of the first houses built down here.
And then everybody followed you because Brentwood was a good place.
Well, I thought it was a good place. I never had any idea Brentwood would grow like it did. It just grew by leaps and bounds. The motel over there, the funeral home there, and what was Hardscuffle over there was became pretty. It wasn't Hardscuffle anymore.
No.
All the people.
A lot of office buildings.
They moved the people out of there and built the hotels and all that stuff there, and it just is just a wonderful thing to have lived here in Brentwood and watch it grow.
While we're here, we've kind of already talked about Brentwood, but real quickly, I kind of like to shift gears a little bit because you were showing me your airplane models. Your career here in Nashville, what was that?
Well, I was flying when we built here, and I continued to fly, and then
Which airline?
American Airlines. Over the years, it really changed the Nashville airport from what Berry Field, from what it originally was, because it used to be just two runways, and we had what we call a low frequency range that we did approaches into here on. We went down to 303 quarters as far as we could go down. And now then they go down to our what they call a runway visual range of 500 feet. So you practically letting them glide now with the autopilots.
Now Nashville has a huge airport that millions.
They have an airport that they should be proud of, and I just wish that I could still fly.
I was going to ask you if you were missing it.
I would still like to fly, but I can't fly anymore because I know that I don't have the flexibility to do it, and it's safer that way.
And you're going to keep everybody safe at the airport too, right? I know. Well, I so enjoyed getting to talk to you, and we're going to enjoy sharing it with the rest of Brentwood.
Well, thank you, ma'am.
Well, thank you. We appreciate it.